Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. The last couple of days, I failed to acknowledge the fact that in this experience, in this coffee chat experience, I have been going live on three platforms at the same time. I always marvel at technology because I have a technology background, but the fact that I can light up LinkedIn, I can light up Facebook, and I can light up YouTube all at the same time, to me is incredible. And as I have been going back and looking at the people who have been joining me live and looking at the people who have been watching the replays, I am always amazed across all of those platforms just how much this message and this voice is reaching out to you. That keeps me encouraged and inspired. When I see that this is meaningful to you, it really helps me stay focused on showing up to serve. Primarily because I know what it's like to sit in that seat, to be at that crossroads, hoping for some clarity, hoping for some guidance, and really looking to get the support that you need to move forward. And so here I am on day number 3 of this incredible coffee chat experience. I get the pleasure and opportunity, and dare I say privilege, to go live from Cabo, San Lucas, Mexico. Now, on the screen is a magnificent picture of the view from our balcony. We have an oceanfront room. We get to listen to the ocean roar, and hopefully you can see the waves coming in. You can see that beautiful sun right over the ocean. It is an amazing view. And the picture, the video stream just does not do it justice. And so I don't take it for granted that I have been able to realize my dream of working from anywhere. Now, I just kind of jumped into things. I didn't even properly introduce myself. Someone may have clicked on this for the very first time. I am Denise Taylor. I am a corporate executive turned business strategist and coach. I am also the founder of Corporate to Entrepreneur. I empower women to truly take agency to do the thing they have been called to do. I coach ambitious professional women who are ready to step into entrepreneurship and strategically launch a profitable, purpose driven business. Now, for me in my journey, when I was facing that professional crossroads, there were a few things that I desired. I wanted to be able to make more impact. I wanted to be able to make more income, and I wanted to be able to have more freedom. Now, freedom for me was defined as being able to work from anywhere. And I have that experience this week here in Cabo, San Lucas. And I wanted to invite you into this experience so that you get experience behind the scenes with me, what it's like to live your dream, what it's like to truly step into the thing that you once hoped for and now live it as a reality. Now, we got to Cabo on Monday, and so we've been here for a few days now. Yesterday was absolutely another great day here. But the interesting thing was there was this lingering threat of rain. So we could see the clouds rolling in. You could even see the color change in the ocean. So there was this lingering threat of rain, but we didn't let that stop us. We decided that we were going to go over to one of my favorite places on the resort compound. We were going to go over and have my absolute favorite meal here, which is the governor tacos, their shrimp tacos, and they just prepare them so deliciously. And so we were going over to El Patio, which is where that meal is served. And we were hanging out in like the little cabana area and enjoying our food. We got through our food, and it seemed like we might have edged off this threat of rain. But of course, out of nowhere, the heavens open up, the rain starts to fall, and we, of course, start to scurry over to try to get out of the rain. That was such an adventure. It was so incredible. And at the end of the day, I got out of it what I wanted, which was the delicious tacos, and had a good time with everyone there. We came back, we kind of relaxed, and we saw that the rooftop pool was open. Now, the thing about the rooftop pool is it has an infinity edge that looks over to the same view that you're seeing on the screen. So we hung out up there, taking in this majestic view, hung out in the hot tub a little bit before we came back to our spot, and had a chance to eat a little bit, a chance to relax a little bit, and just spend some time together. The reason why I share all of that is because when I talk about the dream of working from anywhere, it is not to escape my life. The dream of working from anywhere is to make sure that I get to incorporate work into my life rather than me having my life be incorporated into my work. And so, while that may be my dream, my vision of freedom, I recognize that that may not be everyone's dream, and that is okay. But what I want to encourage and what I want to empower always is that whatever your version of freedom is, whatever your version of impact is, and certainly whatever your version of income potential and really being able to drive success to the levels that you can maintain your lifestyle, whatever that is, you can have it. You don't have to follow my script. You don't have to follow the way that I've done it. You can have an amazing life in business that fits you. And so I wanted to show real time the fact that I get to do it, because if it's possible for me, then it is absolutely possible for you. Now, this is the last day of this incredible coffee chat experience. It's been a 3-day journey. And on day number 1, we talked about what happens when the title, the team, and the success doesn't feel like it's enough for you anymore. We went as far as naming the fact that you are craving more, and that is not a signal of confusion. It really is a signal of calling. Let me say that again. You are absolutely craving more. You're probably craving the ability to show up and having more meaning, craving the ability to show up and have more freedom, craving the ability to show up and make more impact, make more income. You decide what that more is. But what I want to just assert for you, what I want to confirm for you is you craving more. It's not about confusion. It's the fact that you feel a calling, something within you that you sense is calling you to more, calling you to greater. And what I want you to know is that's not random. It's not something that is completely random. It is very intentional. It's an igniter. It's a spark that is rooted in alignment, calling you forward to find out what's right for you. Now, I will tell you, when you sense that calling, it's really a time for you to be more confident and courageous so that you can begin to experience the beauty of what's on the other side. You can begin to experience the beauty of your dreams, the beauty of your hope, the beauty of all of those things that are birthing within you. It comes when you realize that what's right for you means that you have to take an action that may be different than what you're doing now. And so when we had our day 1, there were a few people who reached out with some key takeaways from day 1. And they were in the pocket, like they were spot on exactly the points that I was looking to drive home. One key takeaway was success and alignment are not the same. That is true. Just because you are successful doesn't mean it's aligned, doesn't mean that it feels right to you. So they are not the same. This is one of the reasons why you sometimes see people walk away from it all. You see people go into hiding. You see people do things that seems like it doesn't make sense. And it is because success and alignment are not the same. You can have the title, you can have the access, you can have the recognition and not be fulfilled. You can still feel out of place. And when you begin to sense that, that is an internal indication that you are being called to more. The second key takeaway was that the feeling of more wasn't confusion, it's calling. And the thing that is behind that is it's not going away. Many of you have been wrestling with this perspective for a very long time. It visits you in your quiet moments. It visits you in your dreams. It visits you on conversations. Heck, you could be driving down the street and see a billboard and it take you right back to what you sense is right for you. The key thing is it is not going to go away because it's calling you higher. It's calling you to your next chapter. It's calling you to your next level. But the perspective has to come in as to whether or not you're going to give yourself permission to evolve. The next key takeaway is you don't have to lose your ambition. In fact, you haven't lost your ambition. You have simply outgrown the role that you are in. I like to describe this as we find ourselves beginning to shrink to fit into the success. We've outgrown it. So to go back to the level of success, we have to shrink to fit in it. You have not lost your desire for even greater success, achievement, or dare I say significance. You have just simply outgrown where you are. And then finally, the last key takeaway from day number one is the business you're meant to build is not random either. So the calling is not random, but the business you're meant to build is not random either. It really is rooted in who you are and who you are meant to serve. What matters to you, who's waiting for your influence, who's waiting for your impact so that they can be ushered into their next. So day one was a powerful day. And here's the deal. If you missed day one, you missed even more than that. I made an incredible announcement on day one about the corporate to entrepreneur live event that I am going to be hosting in October. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the event today. The doors are open. You have the opportunity to secure your seat, to make a decision that you're no longer going to allow this to be something that you're putting off. You're going to make a decision to step into that next version of yourself with the support that the right room will give you. In addition to that, on day number one, I talked about the power shift profiles, and I'm not going to review them today, but I do want to invite you to go back and listen if you missed. The power shift profiles gives you language to describe the internal shift that is happening with you. It's the very first time that I began to publicly share what I have been getting revelation about around when we are at that crossroads, what we're feeling. And when you have right language, then you can move past that point of being confused about what's happening at this step. So the power shift profiles will absolutely help you. So if you missed day one, I want to invite you to go back and really check it out because it likely will help unlock some of the tension or some of the hesitation that you're feeling about the seat that you're sitting in. Then on day two, we really started to step into strategy. And I love strategy because I believe that if you have the right plan, if you have the right roadmap, you can begin to execute and build your vision. Build the thing that you feel led and called to do. I walked you through my signature framework, which is purpose plus positioning equals profits. And I showed you how to stop circling around picking an idea and instead start designing the right business for you. And the right business will be one that reflects your purpose and honors your zone of genius or your expertise. Now, some of the key takeaways that came in from those of you who took part in day two were this. You don't have to guess your way through entrepreneurship. You don't have to guess your way into entrepreneurship. You don't have to guess your way with anything related to it. You can design a business that fits you. So this isn't about guesswork. This is about strategy that puts the pen in your hand so that you can design a business that resonates with you, that is built around the impact and the desires that you have for your life. I am exemplifying that for you this week here from Cabo. My desire was to work from anywhere, and that's what I've been doing. The second key takeaway is your corporate experience is not a limitation, it's your leverage. Hear me loud and clear. Your corporate experience is not a limitation. It is your leverage. What you're going to move forward in will stand on the shoulders of all of the great success that you have had. You don't need to go and get more certifications. You don't need to go and get more degrees. You don't need to go and get more. You just need to start. Now, those things may become a part of your journey, but what I find is we put those perceived necessary items in front of our start. One of the interesting things is my cousin is visiting as a part of our group here. And yesterday she shared that she has been doing education for 41 years. And that made my head snap because she's not that old, right? And for her to be in education for 41 years means that she had to start young, start fast. And what she shared is she stepped into the classroom at age 16 as a teacher assistant. And in my mind, that's when she locked into the purpose on her life. Now, she could have come up and said, I'm too young to do this. I don't know enough to get in the classroom. I don't know enough to start doing the thing that I feel purposed and called to do. But she started. And then all of the rest of the things that has allowed her career to blossom were added in along the journey. And I guess that's what I'm saying to you with this point. If you start, everything else that may be necessary for your journey, for your success, for your continued growth, for your continued impact can happen along the way. But starting shouldn't be delayed. Starting should be something that you lean into as quickly as you can. The other key takeaway from on day 2 was passion alone isn't enough. Passion is a spark. It's a spark, but it alone is not enough. You have to have some framework, some methodology that is proven to deliver, one similar to the one that I use with my clients. Purpose plus positioning gives you clarity and direction to move forward with confidence, not just with drive and passion, but with strategy. And then finally, I wanted to reiterate that you are not behind. You are aligned. Wherever you are in your journey, you are not behind. You are one decision away from getting started with the rest of the success that you desire. You are not behind. You just need the support to move forward and take action in the direction that's going to give you what you want. So if you've landed here with me on day number 3, then that tells me something from those sessions may have been stirring with you, or hopefully I ignited your interest in going back to listen to them. If you would like to have access to the replays, you can either message me and I will send you the link, or you can go to jointhelivestream.live, and the people who have registered there will get access to the replays from this incredible coffee chat experience in Cabo. Today is my finale. I am going to wrap us up with day number 3, and I am going to be taking you through this mental concept that it is powerful to get into the right rooms. Your environment absolutely matters. So this is a strategy that I want you to think about. It's not just a gathering. It's not just an event. This is an intentional strategy to get into the right rooms, because the business you want to build won't grow in isolation. The right room will change it for you. the right room will absolutely change it for you. So let's talk a little bit about getting in the right room. I shared yesterday, towards the end of my talk, that the best decision I made was when I was at that professional crossroads, was not launching a business overnight. It was really giving myself permission to pause and invest in the clarity that I needed. It was giving myself permission to get in the right room. And once I got in there, everything that I needed started to meet me. Hear me. Once you begin to take steps in the direction, everything that you need will start to meet you. I always like to say it this way, that God gives us more on the way than he does at the start. So when I put myself in the room, everything I needed started to meet me. But the first thing I had to do was to give myself permission to get there. I had to give myself permission to get into a room that's similar to the one I am inviting you to this fall. And that particular event was a turning point for me. That turning point changed the game. It allowed me to have resources and tools to get the clarity that I needed so that I could move forward confidently and really transform my business. Now, here's the thing that I will tell you. I got into that room years after my business started. And I often think about what would happen if I would have stepped into getting help sooner. We all say we would be further along, but we failed to take the step. And so, what I want to encourage you to do is to not delay your success. I want to encourage you to get into the rooms where turning points happen. The event that I've curated for you is going to give you space to hear yourself. It's going to give you strategy to move forward. It's going to give you support to stop second guessing and to start building with intention. That's the power of getting in a space like Corporate to Entrepreneur Live. And that is the turning point for me, which is why I've taken everything that I've learned from being in that space and that I've also learned from being on the journey that I'm on and curated this amazing experience that I'm inviting you into now. So if you're ready, if you're truly ready, then I want you to know this room is for you. There's something powerful that happens when you step into a room where you don't have to shrink, where you don't have to explain, where you don't have to overperform. There is something powerful that happens when you step into an environment that is curated to be an incubator for your success, an incubator for your step into the next level. And the reason why something powerful happens in a space like that is because everyone in the space gets it. Everyone there gets it, and you are being led by someone who has taken that journey, and the pearls of wisdom are being sold back into you. This is a room where your ambition is matched. This is not a room just for inspiring. It is a room for activating. It's where your vision stops feeling like it's too much and starts feeling right on time. Hear me. When you are in a space that can allow you to dream big without feeling like you need to shrink, it is a right on time room. When you're in a space where bold ideas are normalized, it is a right on time room. When you're in a space where next level thinking is the standard, you are in a right on time space. And when you're in a space where women beside you are not spectators, they are mirrors of what's possible for you, that is a right on time space. And so getting into the right room makes all of the difference of you being able to accelerate your success, step into launching your business, step into the identity you're being called into. It unleashes possibility in the most powerful ways. It makes you show up in Cabo doing a live stream to help other women step into their greatness as well. But there is something that happens, and I dare talk about the right room without talking about the wrong room, because there is something that happens when you're in the wrong room, when you're in the wrong spaces. When you are in the wrong room, in the wrong spaces, it makes you question yourself. It makes you question your thoughts. It makes you question your capabilities. It makes you even question the success that you've earned when you are in the wrong rooms. There is a great impact that happens when you are in the wrong spaces, when you are in the wrong rooms. And they don't always look wrong at first. It might be filled with smart people. It might be filled with good energy. It might even be filled with great conversations. But if that space doesn't reflect your next level, it starts to chip away at your vision. Let me say that again. If that space does not reflect your next level, it starts to chip away at your vision. Because what happens in the wrong room is you find yourself playing down. You find yourself diluting your ideas. You find yourself trying to make it more relatable rather than allowing it to stretch you. You start to hesitate to speak up because you're afraid of being too much when you're in the wrong room. You stop stretching yourself because no one around you is growing in the same direction. And eventually you start to doubt your instincts. You start to shrink your ambition to the tone of the room until it sounds like you being them rather than being who you've been called to be. So the wrong room doesn't just slow you down. It actually quietly convinces you to settle. And that's very important. It quietly convinces you to settle. So it's dangerous to get in the wrong room. But what's even more impactful is to get in no room at all. To just continue to wrestle with the spiraling thoughts. When you are trying to build in isolation, you will constantly keep second guessing yourself because there's no reflection, there's no feedback. You will constantly find yourself collecting content because you don't get to a point where a decision is forced, where a decision is pulled out of you. You find yourself in preparation mode, telling yourself that you're working on it by just gathering checklists to go through when you're really not making forward progress. When you're really ready to get into spaces that are going to grow you, you don't step into spaces where there's no mirrors for you. You don't step into spaces where there's no push for you. You don't step into spaces where there's no perspective of you for you. And that's what happens when you find yourself in no room at all. When you are the smartest person in the room, it's likely because you're the only person in the room. And when you're the only person in the room, doubt keeps creeping in, really challenging you on whether you're ready or not. But I want you to know that you are, but you have to get in the right environment to activate it. In the right room, you remember who you are. And this is how proximity begins to unlock the power of your future. So here's the thing. I've walked through elements of the right room. I've walked through elements of the wrong room, and I've walked through elements of no room at all. But what's really key is this. The right room isn't just a place, it's a catalyst. The right room reflects who you're becoming, the catalyst of what's possible for you, the catalyst of change that you're stretching into. Not who you've been, but who you've becoming. And it doesn't just affirm your ambition, it expands it. The right room expands it. In the right room, you don't have to explain your drive because everyone there has it too. And you're surrounded by women who don't flinch at your goals. They lean in and ask, how can we make it happen? How can we make that possible? And you gain access to not just insight, but you gain access to vision, strategy, and belief that accelerates your shift. That's the power of the right room. It doesn't just give you clarity, it activates clarity. It normalizes growth and it gives you language for what you've been feeling and the support to move forward with what you've been quietly wanting. The right room collapses timelines, it unlocks momentum, and it reminds you of what it is that you've been called to do and what's possible for you. So here's the deal. The right room is something that has been curated for you. It's been curated for you to make that pivot, to make that shift forward based on everything you've been sensing and feeling. The right room is the one that I have opened the doors and invited you to come into. It's the corporate to entrepreneur live experience that is happening this fall. It's going to be a room full of smart, successful, high achieving women who are ready to build what's next, to build it on purpose, with power, and without apology. Because the right room, again, it doesn't just inspire you, it activates you, it moves you. So here's where where I was thinking, like, where would I go next? What would I talk about next after I really tried to impress upon you the power of getting in the right room? It's been a catalyst for my own success and my continued success to be in the right rooms. It's something that I've taken from my experience and curated for you so that it can empower you and accelerate you forward. But here's the key thing. Being close to the right vision gives you a model of what's possible. Someone has to be available to show you possibility. And that's one of the things that I wanted to intentionally do this week, is to show you possibility. You see, when you get a glimpse of true possibility, it helps you to lift your eyes from those checklists that you've been checking things off of and begin to see bigger to the picture of your next chapter and what it can really look like. Yesterday I was talking about one of the reasons why it was so important to me to have a view of the ocean on the screen with me as I shared. And it was important because when you look out there, it just goes so far reaching. It's so majestic, and it just shows greatness without limits. And that's what I want you to sense when you really begin thinking about your next chapter. So it really stimulates the right vision. Being around the right voices gives you language. And that's what I've been intentional this week to do as well. Whether it was going through the power shift profiles, I wanted you to have the right language to talk about what you were feeling. Whether it was leaning into what it's going to take for you to be able to make this shift in a powerful way, I wanted you to understand the methodology and the strategy, the framework that's going to give you the courage to take the steps. I wanted you to be informed. You hear thoughts, but that are reflected back at you when you are in the spaces that will stimulate clarity, that will stimulate your confidence. And suddenly all of the confusion goes away because you feel informed and you got direction. And what about the right coaching? So we talked about the right vision, we talked about the right voices, and what about the right coaching? The right coaching is going to shorten the distance between where you are and where you are meant to be. The right coaching is going to offer strategy and support as well as structure. It's going to challenge you to think bigger, higher, smarter. It's going to challenge you to stop shrinking your potential to fit into your current level of comfort. And that is why proximity matters. It matters for you to get into the right room. Because sometimes the only thing standing between you and your next level is a conversation, is a room, is a voice, or a decision that reminds you who you are and what you're capable of. And that is one of the reasons why coming into a space like Corporate to Entrepreneur Live is going to help accelerate your success in a way that you haven't been able to do on your own. So if you've been circling the idea, trying to piece it together on your own, or you've been waiting for something to just fall in your lap and give you the clarity that you need, I am going to tell you it's going to take a step or action from you to move forward. The right room will deliver all of that and change all of that for you. You know, oftentimes when it comes to coaching, people think about coaching in a very logical sense. They say to themselves, I'll get a career coach because they want a promotion or they want to pivot or they want a way out of burnout. Or they'll say, I'll get a money coach because they want to increase income or they want to get out of debt or they finally want to charge what they're worth. Or they'll say, I want a relationships coach because they want to communicate better or they want to find a partner or they want to set healthy boundaries. Or they may even say, I want a weight loss coach because they want to feel better in their body and follow through on their weight loss goals. And those are real needs. Coaching absolutely supports those desires. But if you ask anyone that's gone through a transformational coaching experience, they are going to tell you something similar to this. I came for the results, but I stayed for the shift in who I became. And that is what I believe is going to be key about you stepping into your next chapter. Some of you think it's about, I just want to get into a space that feels right for me. But what's going to come is the result of who you became. I just want to start a business where I could make impact. But what's going to come is the results of who you will become in that process. Underneath all of that is clarity. Underneath all of that is confidence. Underneath all of that is courage. Underneath all of that is perspective and alignment. And so this morning when I was like getting ready to come out and talk with you, when I was in the shower, one of the things that kept coming up to me was, why is coaching the absolute necessary thing that's needed when you're making an important shift like the one we've been talking about over the last few days, where you're starting a life in business by design? When you decide to do this, purpose is important, not by default, but I will tell you, the only thing that has accelerated me beginning to understand how to operate effectively has been realizing that coaching is essential. You're no longer following a path that someone else has laid out when you begin to make this shift. And that's one of the key things why it feels risky when you are thinking about it in comparison to your corporate career. In your corporate career, there was a career path. There was an org structure. There was something that you followed. You knew you had this title and you knew what the next title likely would be. You knew what the next title likely would be after that, assuming you were having progressive success in your career. But when you begin to step into this type of transformation where the pen is in your hand, you no longer have this curated path to follow that someone else has laid out. You're creating your own, and that requires more information. It actually requires internal clarity. It requires emotional resilience. It requires strategic alignment. So if you are looking to build something successful, you got to build something true to you. This isn't just about launching a brand or reaching a revenue goal, and that is incorporated in the work that I do for sure. But it really is about stepping into this new identity and honing your purpose and making a decision that reflects the woman you're becoming. And that's why coaching is so necessary and bridges the gap. The reason why I brought this up is because when you join me at Corporate to Entrepreneur Live, that's what happens real time in the room. I'm not afar from you. I'm up close and personal with you. I am there coaching you through it real time, coaching you through the growth, coaching you through the evolution, coaching you through the experience of taking that pen and curating your future. So here's what I know if you've been here with me over all of the last 3 days. You're not a casually curious person. You're actually being called. Whether you listen to me live or you listened it on the replay, if you made the intention to take in what I've been sharing over the last 3 days, you are beginning to experience this as an answer for you. The truth is you have accomplished a lot, but you know you're being invited into something more. And you don't want to just start anything. You've been approached by a lot of people who are offering you the opportunity to start anything. But you know you want to do something that feels right for you. One that honors your experience, one that reflects your purpose and supports your life. Let me see if I can make myself bigger on the screen. Because in this moment, I want you to hear me loud and clear. You are not here to dabble. You are here to decide. You're here to decide with more intention. You're here to lead something that's fully your own. And today, we've been talking about the space that will make a difference. You need the right room to activate your next. And I know that October feels far off. I know it might feel like it's far away. But here's why you can't wait to make this decision. This moment, the one you're in right now, is actually where your shift starts. The clarity you feel, the momentum you're building, that's not accidental. That's alignment knocking. And if you delay, life will do what it always does. It will fill the space that you give it. The decision that you make today to be in the room makes space for the future and next chapter that you're desiring. If you delay and life feels it, you'll begin to talk yourself back into comfort. You'll begin to get busy again. You'll begin to keep carrying the vision rather than starting to build it. And so while October feels afar off, today's decision to be a part of Corporate to Entrepreneur Live starts the change of everything. So right there on the screen with me is the link for you to go and learn more. And here's the deal. I have a pre-sale rate that gets you in the room with me for a 2-day transformational experience for less than $100. This pre-sale rate is available to you right now. But as I shared before, if you delay, you put a stop sign in front of everything you are feeling that is pulling you forward and saying to you, this is the answer you've been praying for. Fast action is one of the most transformational things that we can begin to do to truly change our lives. And so I want to invite you to be courageous in this moment, to put a date on your destiny, to lock in your space and get in the room for Corporate to Entrepreneur Live. It's not just a date on the calendar. It will represent for you a decision point where you said yes to how you are going to start showing up for the next version of yourself. So this really isn't about the date. It's about you. It's about the momentum that you're going to ignite for yourself today. And if that message is one that you're willing to send to yourself, then I want you to know that I'm going to show up in that space and I am going to help accelerate your success to get you to where it is that you envision your life being. So as we close out this coffee chat, I want to say this. You didn't just show up here by accident. Something in you knew it was time to stop circling the idea and start listening to that whisper of more. More impact, more income, more freedom. Over the last 3 days, we named what success feels like without alignment. And we explored how to build a business that's rooted in your purpose and not pressure. And I've talked today that the right room is one that's necessary for you. It's not a luxury. This is absolutely necessary. The key thing is, are you going to give yourself permission? Are you going to give yourself permission to go for the clarity? Are you going to give yourself permission to go for the business? Are you going to give yourself permission to step into your next chapter and design a life and business that fits you? And so I'll leave you with this. If you are ready to shift from career success to entrepreneurial clarity, from overthinking to action, then I want you to know the Corporate to Entrepreneur Live is absolutely your next step. It's not just another event. It is an activation point that begins with your decision today. So if you go to www.theceoshift.live, www.theceoshift.live, you can take advantage of the pre-sale rate that will get you into this incredible 2-day experience for less than $100. You want to take advantage of that. You want to acknowledge what you sense. You want to stop delaying and stop allowing life to fill in all of the space and make room for your next. It has absolutely positively been my privilege. You can still see the ocean in the background there behind me in the reflection in the window. This journey has been so great to share with you. But more than a reflection of what I get to experience, I want to invite you into your next chapter, your next experience, your next destiny. I'll see you guys next time.